What is selector? So to automate the user interfaces, we are required to interact with various windows, button, drop down button, control and many other things, right? We as a human can find and work on that UI element, but UI path cannot, right? Because we can see the elements, so we can work on that, but UI path cannot. So to overcome this issue, UI path uses selector. Selector is the full path of UI element, which is used to identify the elements. And you can say selector is actually a standard XML code, because selector is written in XML format, and it contains two types of information. First, element type, and second, attributes. If you see here in selector, WND app equal to notepad.exe, this is the element type, and here class equal to notepad, title equal to untitled notepad, this is the attributes and its value, right? So window is like element, so WND, the full form of WND is Windows. This is the selector of HTML applications like web pages. So here the element type will be HTML, app equal to chrome.exe, because we are going to use web pages, and the application which we are going to use, that is Chrome browser. That's why here the app equal to showing chrome.exe. So this is the element type, and here now you can see the all these things, that is attributes and its values, same as like we are using in making a website. So elements type can be Windows, HTML, control, Java, etc. For example, for window we will be getting in selector WND, and for HTML web pages we will be getting HTML, right? And for Java we will be getting Java, and for control we will be getting CTRL, right? So attributes are the important part of selector. So there are pieces of information which helps UI path to identify elements. Here you can see this is the selector not found exceptions. So what happens, if you see here, attributes are the important part of selector, and there are pieces of information which helps UI path to identify elements. So sometime what happens, if elements not found, if that attributes not found, then we get this type of exception, runtime exception error, right? So UI path looks for the application with the file name, title, class and other attributes, and if any of these do not match, the element will not be found and throw an exception, selector not found. So you all know that most of the time we are getting this error whenever like we have selected one element, and sometime we close that application, close that web pages or anything, that time we get this error, right? So now we'll learn here how to resolve selector not found exceptions. So let's take one example of notepad and web pages, and I will show you how to resolve this issue if you are getting this type of exception. So this is related to selector. We can modify in selector, we can do something in selector, and we can resolve this error. First we'll open the notepad and write hello world, and then again we'll try with the close the notepad and we'll run the boot and we'll see the error, and if error still exists, then we'll resolve that error. So let's first open the UI path. So here I have already taken one assign activity, and here the type into activity. So let me just run this. In this example I have taken a selector of notepad where we are going to write hello. So now you can see here we have got the error, the exception file, type into editable text, cannot find the UI element corresponding to this selector. So here showing window app equal to notepad exe, class equal to notepad, and title equal to untitled notepad. So we haven't opened any notepad on the screen, that's why we are getting this error. Now we are thinking about how to resolve that issue. So first, if you are going to run this, then first open the notepad, right, and then run this. Right, so this is the first. By this way we can resolve, we can keep that application open on like visible on the screen. So by this way we can resolve that issue. Or sometime what happens, we are getting error due to like this title do not match. Like sometime what happens, we have saved this with a name notepad.exe, right. Now let's run this. So again we'll be getting error because it is looking for title equal to untitled notepad. So again the UI path will not able to find the UI element corresponding to this selector, right. So first was that like it was not able to find the application, that notepad, that's why getting error, and now it is not getting title, that's why it will throw an exception. So first one we have resolved by opening the notepad, and second here we can do one thing, we can go to the here and again we can indicate on the notepad. If you want to automate this notepad, then we can again click on this and click on indicate, and just we can click here, right. So by this way also we can indicate on the element and we can correct that issue. Or here we have the option like we can put the asterisk here like notepad. So by this way it will look for the anything before notepad, it will accept that and it will run that application. Right. So if it anything before notepad is there, then also it will accept and it will run that automation correctly, and if it is not, then also it's good. So there is no error here. So by this way we can resolve that issue. We can again click on indicate on the screen here. So selector will be changed now. Now you can see here in the edit selector, the selector has been changed. Now title equal to notepad.txt, right, and again we can run and we will be able to write hello in the notepad here, right. So by this way we can resolve selector not found exceptions. Second example, will take open Chrome and search for the Google, get the Google text and show in message box, right. So for that first we'll open Chrome here and we'll write here google.com and then take one new sequence Chrome. We'll take one activity to get the Google name, like the Google text here. Get text, drag and drop, click on this and just select this. So here now take one variable Google name, right. Now we'll take one message box to show this Google name, right. Now run this. So here we'll be getting message box like Google here. Currently it's not showing because it looks like it's image here. It is image, it's not a text. So here we can change and we can take a get OC or something, indicate on the screen, take the Google. Google name, right? So we have taken the get OCR. So with this with the use of this we have extracted this one, right? So I'm not going to tell you about the get OCR. Here we are just looking for selector. Now I'm going to do one thing. I am going to close that and now run this again. Now you can see here we have got the error like cannot find the UI element corresponding to the selector, like the title equal to Google and ID equal to HP logo and tab. So this tag is no this attributes, this values did not match, or this is not available, that's why we got that error, right? So if you are getting this type of issue, then always we need to keep that screen open and then we can run, and then will not get error. Or we can again, sometime what happens, we are working on any project and due to selector changed, or due to like the web page ID has been changed, or that element ID changed, we are not able to automate that things. So for that again we have to click on indicate on the screen, and again we have to select that element again. So by that way we can automate. We learn about what is selector editor. So here if you see the screenshot of selector editor, it looks like this. Selector editor is used to edit automatically generated selector contents. We can check and uncheck the attributes and make a required selector. There are two ways to open this editor. First, click on open menu on activity, or click on like 3 dot next to selector field and property panel. So by this way we can open this selector editor and we can work on that. So I'm going to show you how to open that. So we'll click here and we'll click on edit selector, right? So by this way we can open selector editor. And now also we have option here. If you go to the properties, then click on target, and here we have a selector option, then click on that here, then we can open this selector editor also, right? Now we learn about what are the selector editors, options, and what is the use of that. So there are the option like validate. If you see here, this is the validate. So validate, this button shows the status of the selector by checking the validity of the selector, and it has 4 states. You can see here, this is the images and this is the states of the validity. First, selector is being validated, like first time, like whenever we are going to select that and it's running to validate, like it's being validated, that time we get this type of image in selector editor. Next, this is valid selector. Whenever we are getting this type of like green color, so this is valid selector, and this is for invalid selector, and this is for modified selector or revalidate. So if we are getting this type of validate, then we need to revalidate, or this is like modified selector. So whenever we are getting this red color like invalid selector, we need to again select the new element. We can choose the new element and we can correct our selector, and if it is valid, then it's good to go. Now the next thing is indicate element. Indicate element is used to indicate a new UI element to replace the previous one, right? So here if we'll click on let me first take here one type into indicate on the screen, click here and text must be quoted like hello, right? So if we'll click on edit selector, here if you'll see this is showing validate, it means this current selector is valid. So this is the selector, this is valid. So if we'll click OK and if we'll run this, then we'll not get error. But what happens sometimes, if you are doing any changes here, right, let's suppose I have just removed one space, then it shows that validate, like it is showing like the selector is modified, so please click on validate. So if we click on validate, again it's showing in green color, it means selector is valid. We can again click OK and start working on that one. And this indicate element is used to, if you click on edit selector, so here there is option to indicate element, so we can click on that and we can select any element here, we can select anyone, and based on that we can generate the selector here also, right? And there is the next option that is repair. So repair is used to re-indicate the same target UI element and repair the selector. The button is available only when the selector is invalid. So whenever if we are getting invalid selector here, then this repair option will be enabled and then we can click on repair and we can repair the selector also. So next is highlight option. This is used to highlight the selected UI element. So if we click on highlight, our selected element will be highlighted, right? So we have selected here hello in French, so this selected element is highlighted. Again we'll uncheck this, then this will not be highlighted, right? So with the use of this we can highlight that element which we have selected. And the next is edit attributes. This section contains all the selector components which is used to identify UI elements and can be checked and unchecked. So here in attributes, edit attributes, we can select, we can check or uncheck anything. If we do not require the parent ID, we can uncheck from here. We can click here, that will be removed, and here it will write omit. It means we have removed from there. So it will not be included in this selector part, right? By this way we can uncheck and we can check also. So if we'll uncheck, here one word will be written omit, and if we'll select, so this word will be removed and now this will be also part of selector. So even we can keep this omit parent ID equal to this, or we can remove. This is depend on you, right? Now the next one is edit selector. So this section contains final selector. Here if we'll click on edit selector, so we are getting here edit selector. So whatever we are doing here in edit attributes, everything we are getting here the current selector, right? It means this is the current selector which we are going to use in our project for that element, right? And if we click OK, so this same selector will be applied for this type into activity selector here, right? Now the next one is open in UI Explorer. Here if you are getting here option open in UI Explorer. It means we can click on this to open the UI Explorer. Now how to generate selector? So selectors are generated automatically by UiPath Studio when we indicate on any UI elements to automate. like whenever we are clicking on indicate elements and we are selecting this, so by this way the selector is being generated. Now you can see here the window app equal to PowerPoint, class equal to screen class, title this, right? So by this way we can generate the selector, right? Or we can click here and indicate on the screen and we can select. So by this way also we can generate the selector, and it will look like this. For better understanding, let's take a look at Chrome browser, inspect features and indicate on any element. It will look like this. User interfaces and HTML web pages are built using a series of containers nested one inside the other. Selectors store these attributes in the XML format so that a specific element from a window or page can be identified. So for that we'll press F12 and then we are getting these options. So these are the like elements it's showing here. When like this is the same as like UiPath selector. If we click one by one, now you can see it is selecting here, it's choosing here. Now we have option, we can select an element here and then we can select one by one, and it is showing this part. If it is showing here, now you can see like hello. So for hello we are getting input class this one, maximum length 2048, type equal to text, right? So by this way we can look for the class, name equal to Q, type equal to text, right? So this is same as a selector, this works same as selector, right? Now we learn about the full selector and partial selector. So full selector contains all the attributes of selector including top level elements. So now the question is, what is top level elements? So here you will see the window app equal to notepad.exe, CLS equal to notepad, title equal to untitled notepad. So this is called top level elements. So whenever we are using any like elements, like any application, if you are going to automate any application, then the selector shows the app name, like the app equal to notepad.exe, or class of that notepad, title of that notepad, or if you are using HTML like web pages, then it will show HTML, and the app equal to chrome.exe, class equal to, like if you have opened any page, then it will show the page and it will show the title. So this part is top level elements, and whatever the next is, that is called like attributes and its values. So this is the first line in our selector is called top level elements. So full selector, like normal selector, whenever we are clicking on any elements, so we are getting the full selector including top level elements, right? Now it is generated by basic recorder. The full selector generated by basic recorder because it doesn't use container. That's why each activity contains full selector. So I will show you, if we'll use basic recorder, then how will we get this full selector. So let me open UiPath Studio. Okay, so here you will start. I will click on recording and then select basic. Now we have option record, so we'll click on record. We'll go to we'll open one notepad. Let me first open notepad here, and then we'll click on this empty area, and then we'll write here basic recording full selector, right? And then just press OK, and then I will click on format I will get this. Then we need to click no, then select font, then select the anyone from here, like we are selecting Vedana, no issue, and then changing the font size and press OK. Now press escape to stop the recording and press escape again to save the recording. Now save that. Now you'll see here in the basic recording there is no containers. If you'll see my video of basic recording, I have already created that and I told you about that in that video. Like there is no containers for basic recorder, and that's why if there is no container, so every activity will have the top level elements. If you click on the selectors, you will get here this is the top level element. Like it is showing that like this UiPath is going to use Notepad application, and the class is Notepad, and the title equal to untitled Notepad, and these are the different things. So this is the main things, top level elements. So every activity, because there is no container in basic recording, so it has one single activity. Here also we will get window app equal to notepad.exe, class Notepad, title equal to untitled Notepad, right? So this will work same as partial or full selector. There is no changes. Only changes here, the difference will be the full selector and partial selector is the top level element, and the second we can say this is generated by basic recorder and partial selected generated by desktop recorder. So first let me run this. Now you can see it has written basic recording, full selector is selected, this one Vedana and 20, and then OK, right? So processing has been done, it is working fine. And now go to the next, that is partial selector. So partial selector does not contain top level elements. So as I already told you that partial selector will not contain top level element and full selector contains top level elements. It is generated by desktop recorder. It works exactly same as full selector. There is no problem to run the board. There is no any issue with in running the projects. So this is not editable. Only containers contains top level elements. Here you'll see this is the top level element. If you'll see here in selector editor, for the partial selector, these top level elements is not editable. We cannot edit this from the selector as well, right? So now let's see one example of partial selector. Let me open UiPath Studio, and now we'll remove this part, this basic things, or now click on recording, select the basic, and we'll take this Notepad and we'll click record and then select this. Again we'll type partial selector, submit. Again we'll select format, don't show, no, and then select font. We'll change the font size and press OK, and then escape, save. Now you'll see here in the desktop recording, each window has different containers, So here we have opened the notepad. So there is one container. This is a container that is using attached window, and the second one is we have clicked on this menu, the format here, then we selected this font. So this is also one type of containers, so that's why it has used different attached window. And then we again clicked on font, so this is another containers, right, because we have clicked here. So first container is this one, and then this is the different another dialog box. So this is for different window, so that's why there is different containers. So the desktop recording always add the containers for each window. So now if we'll see here on each containers, on each attached window, click here and check the selector. So as I already told that in the desktop recording, each attached window has only the top level elements, right? So it will have only the top level elements, and apart from that, if we'll go to the another activity inside the attached window, we will have the rest of the selectors. Now here you will see this window app like top level element is not editable. Here also you cannot check, you cannot uncheck, because this part, this top level element already has been used in this attached window container. If you see next one also, see here there is no top level element. Now you will see here again you will get the top level element only, window app equal to notepad.exe, class equal to this, right? Here there is no top level element. Again for the font dialog box, there is only top level element, app equal to notepad.exe. So if application like window application equal to notepad.exe, HTML app equal to chrome.exe, control equal to something, so that is, if that is there, it means that is top level element, right? And if that is included in the selector, that is called full selector, and if that is not there with all the selector, then that is called partial selector. Here you can see this is here is showing, but this is not editable, so this is called partial selector, right? This will work same as full selector. There will no issue with the partial or full selector. Now we learn about the selectors with wildcards. Wildcards are symbols that enable you to replace zero or multiple characters in a string. These are very useful when we are dealing with dynamically changing attributes in selector. So there are two wildcards used in UiPath. So these are the only supported wildcards. First is asterisk and second is question mark. Asterisk, it replaces zero or more characters. Like I'm going to show you that on daily basis we use this type of things in our company or anywhere or at our home also. Let's suppose you are going to save this file, Control S. Now you can see here we are getting star.txt, like asterisk.txt, means we can put whatever after the .txt. So we can remove and we can put here notepad dot anything, we can change the name. So here this is the same, and sometime what happens, we are going to search the file name. Let's suppose I need to search only XLS file name. So what we are doing is like asterisk dot sxlsx. So what will happen, it will show only XLS file. That means extension will be .xlsx, but the name can be anything, because we have used here asterisk, that's why. So it replaces zero or more characters. So what will be there before .xlsx, it will show there. Now the next is, it replaces a single character. Let's take example of Notepad to see how to use wildcards with selector. So let's open UiPath Studio, and here I will remove all this part, and I will take one activity, type into activity, and I will select that Notepad, and I will write here wild card asterisk. Now if you'll see here the selector part, it is showing title equal to untitled Notepad, right? So for the asterisk that I already showed you in the windows, like here in folder, how to search that file and how we are using in our anywhere in window or at daily uses. So if we replace this part, if we remove this part, and if we will write only this, that will also work, right? Because it will look for the notepad name, and whatever is there before Notepad word, that will work. So let's press OK and run this. Now you can see it has worked. It is showing wildcard asterisk. Now I am going to show you one more thing, like the second one is question marks. So here it replaces a single characters, like our previous, the file name was, let me indicate again on the Notepad here, and now you can see the title equal to showing untitled Notepad. Suppose we are removing this D from there and we are using this question marks, then what do you think? Will it work or not? It will work, because it replaces one character. You can see here it replaces single character. Now press OK and then run. Now you have seen here it has worked because we have used the question marks wildcards in selector, right? So it can take anything. If you are using here, if you have changed the file name from Notepad to Notepad, if you are changing from D to C, then also it will work, right? I am showing you here. If you are using question marks here, let's try this. Right? So it's working because hyphen, that is also character, so that's why it's working fine. Let me save this file and save with the Notepad 1. And now let's indicate on this, and let me change the name of this. So I am just going to use here question marks. It means if the file name is Notepad 1, Notepad 2, Notepad 3, whatever will be there, it will work. Let's run this. So now you can see it has worked, because we have used question marks to replace one character, single character. So by this way we can use wildcards in our selector. So I am going to show you another examples that will help you to understand wildcards, how to use wildcards in selector. Let's take another example, how to open multiple PDF files. So we'll open one by one 4 to 5 PDF files, and the PDF files name will be like, let me show you. The sample PDF files will be sample 1, sample 2, sample 3, sample 4, right? So this will help you to understand the wildcards used in selector. I have already created that workflow here. I will just tell you one by one here. We have used directory.get files from this folder, UiPath selector sample PDF files, and we have get that files in this variable files. Now we are using for each activity to iterate that into files one by one, get the files, and we are getting in items. Now we have used a start process. So by this way we are just opening one by one all files. It means we have not used any selector, we have not used any wildcards here. Now I will show you how to use wildcards in this. Let me first close this. So here, after opening the PDF, I am going to just close one by one all this PDF. So first I will take close application activity, and now indicate on the screen, click on that, and now run this. So what will happen? It will throw an error after closing one PDF file. It has opened first PDF, it has closed, and then it has second one, then it will throw an error because it is not getting sample2 file name in close application selector, right? So let me close that. We know that we will be getting error after the specified time. So what can we do? We will click on edit selector, and here if you see we are getting sample1.pdf, but we have 4 PDF files, 1 2 3 4. Now here we can use wildcards. How? Here you will see the file name is sample1, and now we are getting sample2, sample3, sample4. So what can we do? We can just remove this and put the question marks. So whenever it will open, it will replace the sample1, then sample2, sample3, because this will be always there with the PDF files, but the number will be changed. So this will replace only single character. So always it will be 1 2 3 4 5 like that. So if it's change from here, we can change here also. Automatically it will be changed. Now validate. Currently is showing like error, but there is no issue because this is modified. Now press OK and run that. So now we will not be getting any error. Now you can see if sample2 has been opened and closed, sample3 has been opened and closed, and then sample4 has been opened, and now you can see here we are getting error. Why? You can see here the title of this PDF file, sample4.pdf secured. Here the file name is different. Previously we were getting sample3.pdf, sample2.pdf, sample1.pdf. We were not getting secured file. So now one more thing. Now here we need to use another wildcards. You'll see here. So let me just click here and edit selector, and now here we are getting sample.pdf. After the PDF name we are getting that. Let me open and show you that we are getting sample4.pdf secured, and if we'll open sample3, we are getting only sample3.pdf. there is no any secure option. So that's why what will we do? We will go to the sample PDF here, and then we will write here, we will remove this, and we can use asterisk So it will replace everything, whatever we will be getting after the .pdf, it will accept that and it will work. Now press OK and run that. So now it has opened sample 1 closed, sample 2 closed, sample 3 closed, sample 4 and then closed. It's working fine because we have used here, we have changed in selector, we have used both wildcards here. And one more thing, we can also use here this wildcard, like whatever is coming after the sample word, sample thing, that will work. Let's run this again and now you can see we will not be getting any error here. Sample 1 that is closed, sample 2 opened and closed, sample 3 opened and closed, and sample 4 open and close, right? So by this way we can modify selector, we can add wildcards in selector, right? And one more thing I am going to show you here, we can change the screenshot. Like here we are thinking that no, we have selected wrong, we have taken wrong screenshot here, then we can click on that and we can change the screenshot. So if we'll select again, let me select this, right? Now you can see here we have changed the screenshot, right? Only screenshot, there will be no any changes with the selector. We have just changed the screenshot. Now if we want to remove the screenshot, we can click on that, we can remove that, right? Selector will be same, only we have removed the screenshot. And then again we can click on that, we can choose for the screenshot, right? So we learned about this, how to use wildcards with selector. Now we will learn how to deal with dynamic selector. So let's take one example. We'll open Chrome and pass the URL of google.com, search age of actors, get the age of actors and write the age in Excel in age column, right? So we have the Excel file. Let me open the Excel file first. So we have the actor's name, like these are the actors names. We need to fetch the age of that actors, and we need to write here like that, like age of that actors, 53 years, 54, 55, like that. Manually we open the Chrome and then we'll write here google.com. And we type here the actor's name and age and just press enter, and then we'll get this age here 53. Every time if we need to change the name of that, then we'll press here change the name and get the age. So by this way we need to write the actor's name here and fetch the actor's age and write into Excel file. So I have already created that workflow here. Let me open that here. Here I have taken path exist. I have checked the file is there, that Excel file is exist or not. If that is exist, then I have used the Excel application scope and read range to read that Excel file, and I have taken one data table, that is actor's name, and here in the search age, this sequence, I have used open browser and taken the Chrome browser and here I have used the for each row. So by using that I have fetched one by one the actor name, and then I am typing here after opening the Google. Here I have typed here the actor name plus age, so that will show like Salman Khan and then space age. So by this way, using this one, I am passing here the name of the actors, and then this is the hard coded, so we are using age, and then I am passing one send hotkey to press the enter. Here I am not using because I have used the simulate click, so we cannot, if you see here simulate click, so we cannot use the hotkeys from here, so that's why I have used send hotkey. Here I have taken get text activity to get the age from this Google page, so it will fetch this 53 years and write into Excel here in the age column. So currently here I have modified the selector, but I am going to select this again so that I can show you how to change the selector if we are getting any dynamic ID or name. If ID and name is changing every time, then how can we modify that? So let's click on this and select this part 53 years. Now if you see here in the selector part, if you click here, we are getting here HTML app equal to Chrome exe, URL google.co.in, web control AA name equal to 53 years and IDX equal to 1, parent ID equal to RSO and tag equal to div, right? So if we'll try here, we are getting validate like invalid, so let's click on that. So here is showing that we are getting like invalid. First click on OK and let's try. Then first I will show you that which type of like errors will get here. So Chrome browser has been opened, google.co.in has been passed, and now it's passing the actor's name and it's trying to get the age here. So it's passing all this actor's name, and now let's see it's writing the age value in Excel or not. Okay, so now we'll see here we are getting this error. It is showing cannot find the UI element corresponding to this selector, wave control AA name equal to 53 years, IDX equal to 1, parent ID equal to RSO and tag equal to div. It means in this selector the AA name equal to 53 years there in the selector, but what's happening here, every time this year is like age is changing, right? Because each actors, it is checking for the each users each actor's age, and each actor's age like age is more than 50, 53, 55, so that's why it always going to check for the 53 in AA name. That's why we are getting error. So for this we need to modify our selector here. What can we do? Let's go to the selector here from the properties panel, and now here in AA name we can remove this or we can replace this with star. We just need to write here star and just press OK, and now if we run this we will not be getting any error. So let me run this, and now we will see here so now you'll see here like here 54 age is 51, every time it's changing here. So this is called like dynamic selector. 53 years, 55 years, and now it's done. It means there is no error with selector, there is no error in our project. Now open this. Now you'll see here in the Excel part, it has written the age of each actors. Salman Khan age 53, Govinda 55. So there is no issue with the age. So by this way we can change into the selector, we can modify the selector, we can make this selector dynamic and reliable. So we learned how to pass variable in selector. We'll see the first method how to pass variable in selector. So first one is pass the variable between double quotation and double plus. So the selector will be look like this type. If you see here in title, title equal to single quote, double quotation, plus, then variable name, then again plus, then double quotation, right? So this single quotation, this will be always there. So we just need to take care of that double quotation and plus. So by this way we can pass the variable in selector. So let's take one simple example of Notepad. I'm not going to tell you like the big example. This will be just simple example. So by that way you can understand how to pass the variable in selector. First we'll pass Notepad title to a variable, and then we'll use that variable in selector instead of static title, and also we'll pass complete selector to a variable, and so only variable in selector. So let me first open UiPath Studio. So here I am going to take one type into activity, and here I am just going to indicate on Notepad. So here click on the empty area of Notepad, and we will write here how to pass variable in selector, right? So we are just taking this type into a activity to write this in Notepad. So currently our selector is this WND app equal to Notepad, CLS equal to Notepad, and title equal to untitled Notepad, because our Notepad title equal to this untitled Notepad. Now ANM equal to text editor, class equal to editor, edit, control ANM equal to text editor, and role equal to editable text. Now press OK and let's run this. So here it is typing this sentence in Notepad. Now we are going to learn how to pass variable inside the selector. So if you see here, I am going to change this and put here as a variable instead of a static name. So for that, let me take one assign activity. So here I am taking assign activity because if you are working on any project, any other things, then we are getting the data in a variable and we are passing that variable here in selector, right? So I am just taking here one variable, control K, and this is for the title, Notepad title, and here in the two sections in the value I am just using the same things. I am doing the cut copy paste here, or copy, I am just pasting here in value, right? So now we have the Notepad title in one variable that's called title, and now let's click on this, and if you see here, we need to pass the variable between double quotation and plus. So what we need to do, double quotation, then one plus plus, and here we need to write that variable that we have created, right, and then press OK. Let me check this variable has been created or not. So this has been created. Let me remove this one and let's run this. Okay, so now we'll see here we have got the error, this type of runtime execution error. It is showing here the a name equal to, it is showing window app equal to notepad.exe. So as we will check here, notepad is already opened. Now the CLS equal to notepad, this is also right, but here the title equal to, it is showing & quotation plus title plus this. So we are getting this type of exception. So we'll learn how to resolve this type of exceptions. If you are getting this type of exceptions, how to resolve this. So first we need to remember some things. Do not click on the options circled in the red. If you are getting this one, this type in selector part, do not click on that. Just paste directly there, here inside selector field, otherwise it will show this type of message, right? It will show this one instead of double quotes, it will show & quote. So we do not need to click on this. So let me open the studio again, and here if we have clicked here, so that's why this has been changed. Now what we need to do not click on this, just click here and just remove this part. Let's remove this and write double quotation manually. Again remove this one also and use double quotation, right? Now run again. Now we will not be getting any error here. Now you can see we are not getting error. So this is why, because here from the selector we have clicked on this, and if we click on this, this will automatically will be changed and will convert to & quote. So that's why do not click on this, just change from here. Or if you have clicked on this and you are getting error, then just go here and change that. Otherwise just paste the selector here without clicking on this one, right? So by this way we can resolve that selector issue. Now I'm going to tell you one thing more. Here we have used the title untitled notepad in this one. Now one thing also I am going to say here, that if you want to use the complete selector in a variable and you want to use the variable here, then just Control A, copy this and take one assign activity here, and just press Control K, write the selector. This is one variable. Paste your variable selector here, right? And now go to the type into and remove this all selector and write your variable that you have created. Now again run this. So by this way we can use, if you want to use the same selector one or like more than one activity in more than one activity, then we can do like this, and we can use only this selector variable here in selector. Now let's run this and let's see what's happening here. So it's working here, right? And the second thing, so now we are going to learn the second method. So what is the second method? So let's take the same example of notepad and I will show you how to use the second method. So let's see here, need to pass variable between double curly braces. So this is new, I don't think you have learned before. So this is like that, you will not be getting this type of like exception error, that and person code something, you just have to pass the variable between double curly braces. You don't need to use double quotation or plus plus. You can write anywhere, like in that selector part, click on that three dot button, it's on you. So now let's take one example, same example here, and now I am just going to change here. So we just need to remove this part, take, and instead of this we just need to write opening curly braces 2 times and then closing curly braces 2 times, right? And now press OK, and here we need to change this from title to string, and this selector also, this will be string. And now let's run this. First remove the data from here and let's run this. So you can see here it's working fine, and I am going to show you like that. If you are going to click on that 3 dot here also, then what we are getting. So let me remove this part, this selector variable, and Control K, remove this, go to the selector, paste this, right, and now remove this selector variable which is not in use now, and we can click on this also. We can write like this, you know, and that should be showing here also, same as like that. Okay, now press OK, and now run this. So you see here there is no issue with the selector. So I will recommend you to always use this 2 opening curly braces and 2 closing curly braces, and by that way we can make our selector reliable, trustable and workable, right? UI Explorer in selector. Here you can see all this section of UI Explorer window, and then we'll also learn about how to automate this website like automation challenge using UI Explorer tool. We will not use here anchor based activity. We will do some changes in selector from UI Explorer tool, and then we can automate this web page as well. So let's start. So what is UI Explorer? UI Explorer is an advanced tool that enables you to create a custom selector for a specific UI element. It means we have the selector editor option, we can do the changes from there, but UI Explorer is a tool, or you can say advanced tool, from where we can customize our selector. So in UI Explorer we get lots of feature to create our selector based. Now we learn how to open UI Explorer window, that tool how to open. So we learn first to open the UI Explorer window, go to the tools and then click on UI Explorer. It is in the latest version only. I'm going to show you. Let me open UiPath Studio. So here if we'll click on start, then go to tools, then here we are getting option UI Explorer. So this tool is available only with the new version of UiPath Studio. Here you can see 2019.5.0. this is the community edition and this is the current version of this. So that's why we are getting option this one here, and if you are using older one, then you will not get option to click on UI Explorer, right? Now the next is how to open UI Explorer. So we have 2-3 options to open UI Explorer window. To open the UI Explorer window, click the button in the selector section in the design tab. It is available only if the UiPath.UIAutomation.activities package installed as a dependency to the project. You can see here it will show like this in the design section, design tab in your UiPath Studio. So as here it's showing that UiPath UI automation activities package should be installed in your studio. If it is not installed, it will not show this icon here in the design section, design tab in selector section. Let me show you. So here currently we are able to see this because I have already installed that package UiPath.UI automation activities. So if I am going to remove this, like uninstall this and save this, so here you have seen all the UI automation related things has been gone. So from here now you will not able to see the icon. So whenever if you are not getting anything that UI Explorer tool in your UiPath Studio, then you can go to the manage packages. You can search here from the click on all packages, search here UiPath.UI automation. So here it is showing UI automation.activities. Now click on install and then save this. So once you will save this, it will ask for the accept. So I'm going to accept this. Then it will start adding all these features in your UiPath Studio. So here you have seen the most of the features has been added into UiPath Studio, right? So now we can see UI Explorer tool here. Click on activity option and click on open in UI Explorer from pop-up menu. So this is our next option, how to open UI Explorer like this. So if you are using any activity and if you want to open that window, then you can do like that. So let me show you that also. So I'm going to take one type into activity here. I'm just going to add this here and then click here, double click and indicate on anywhere. Let me indicate here. And now here after generating the selector here, the target section, we have generated the selector. Now we are getting the option to edit the selector indicator in the screen, open in UI Explorer, change the screenshot, remove the screenshot and show the screenshot. So from here you can click on open in UI Explorer and then we can open the UI Explorer window. So next is to open the UI Explorer, go to selector editor window and click on open in UI Explorer, link on bottom of the window. So you will get that option here in the selector editor on bottom of the window, right? It will open UI Explorer if selector is valid, otherwise link will be disabled. So let me show you that. Just click here and click on edit selector. So here we'll get selector editor option and now we can click on open in UI Explorer window. And if our selector is not valid, if that is invalid, and now we cannot click on this open in UI Explorer window, right? So this will be disabled, this link will be disabled. So to open this UI Explorer, this selector should be valid. Now the next thing, we are going to see the UI Explorer window, how it looks like and what are the sections and what is the use of that sections, that panel. So here you can see the screen has been, this window has been divided into 6 panel, it means 6 sections. First is the top one, it has validate, indicate element, indicate anchor, repair, highlight, UI framework. And then in second it has visual tree, third selector editor, and here fourth selector attributes, and fifth is property explorer, and sixth is the current selector. So this is the current selector which we get after doing the changes in selectors, and we can copy and paste to our project in the required activity selectors. So we'll see one by one. Let me open the UI explorer so that I can show you one by one. So first I'm going to open this by clicking on UI explorer option here. So let me first indicate on element, and I'm going to indicate on the same UI studio here, and then you can see here this is the UI explorer window. We are getting the top sections here. First, second panel is visual tree, then selector editor, then attributes, then here property explorer, and then current selector. First is the validate button. Here we are getting the validate. So we have 5 states. This validate button has 5 states. First, it looks like validate this type of, it means current selector is empty. If you are getting this type of image here, this type of button here in validate, it means the current selector is empty, and if it is showing like this is moving around, then it means selector is being validate. If it is showing like this, it means this is valid selector, and if it is like this, then it's invalid selector, and if it is like this in question marks validate, then it seems it's modified selector. It means if you are doing any changes in the selector here, then it will show like this. It means this is modified. You can click on revalidate again, right? And then you can see here it's showing current selector is valid. So the next is indicate elements. So here you can see the next one is indicate elements. So it is used to indicate a new UI element to replace the previous one, or you can say to get the selector of the element. So here I am going to show you one thing. If you are using any activity and you are going to change the selector of that activity, then you can do the changes here. You can indicate here and you can replace the previous to the current one. Or if you are getting one pop-up and that is not part of here, that's not part of any activity, and you want to get the selector of this, then how will you get that? So for that you just have to open the UI explorer and then indicate on elements, and you can select any window, any element, and then you can get the selector of this, and you can copy this and you can use that selector anywhere. Like if you can use that if this element exists, then click on that OK button or click on cancel button, like that, right? So you can use this tool to get the selector of any element. Next one is indicate anchor. So here if we will go to the UI explorer, we get one option to indicate anchor. It is used to choose the anchor relative to the target UI element. So this is same as anchor based activity, which is used to get the target element and then work on that one. So this is the same. So we will use this one in our project, and I will tell you how can we use this indicate anchor features of UI explorer tool and how it is important. So we'll take one example of automation challenge to explain the use of indicate anchor. First we'll open the URL of automation change and get the data from Excel and write on automation challenge websites. So first I'm going to show you that automation challenge website, how it works and how can we automate this. So here you can see this is the automation challenge. You can open this rpachallenge.com. So if you'll see here the last name, company name, email, phone number, role in company, first name and then address. It has 6 to 7 fields. Every time when we'll click on submit, the location and position, everything will be changed. Previously first name was in a different location, now it is here. If we click on again submit, now you can see here the company name is here, first name is here. Then every time if we click on submits, the position will be changed. So how can we automate this? So we have UI Explorer window, that tool, that is advanced tool, and we can use that tool to modify the selector and do this work possible. So we'll click on this download Excel and we'll download this Excel file, and now open this. We have 10 records here. We have the first name, last name, company name, role in company, address, email and phone number. So we have to pick the data one by one from each column, each row, and then we have to write into these fields as per their name, right? So if it is first name, then you have to write in first name. So let me save this Excel file, and I'm going to cut this, and I'm going to use the same copy the same thing in my practice sheet here and paste this. And let me open the UI Studio, and then first I'm going to remove this. Okay, so first we are going to read the data from the Excel file. So for that we can take Excel application scope and we can use read range, or we can directly use read range of workbook section. So here we can directly use this without using Excel application. So here we'll write read, and then we can pass the path. We have selected the Excel sheet, and then sheet 1, and then here we will just use here double quotation, save this and take this data in a data table. So Control K and automation DT. So now we have the data table, right? And now we have the data table, and then we can use the for each data row activity to get the data one by one for each. And here we will write that automation data table, and here we'll open this website. So we'll use open browser, and then we'll pass the URL of this double quotation, and then here we'll use Chrome browser, and in the do section we will write here type into activity. So this type into activity for first name. So we'll take here, click on indicate element browser, click on the first name, and then here we'll write row, because we have the data in row. Here we are getting one by one data from the data table in row. So we'll take row, and then here we'll take the name of the Excel. So that is first name. We'll copy this and we'll paste here, and then we can use .toStrings. And before that I want to say one thing, that if we have read the data, then always use the add headers option, otherwise it will not consider this header part. And then here one by one we will take type into activity for all these fields. So this is for last name. So again we'll take the last name from here, then dot to string, and then we'll take another type into activity for the company name, then we'll click on the company here, and now again we'll copy the company name from the Excel, copy and take row, open close bracket, and then dot to string. So this is 3, and then next is role in company. So we can use one by one all these things. And the next one again for the email, so we'll take for the email here, click on email, and then dot to string, then we'll take another type into activity for the last, that is phone number. Click on this, go to that one, and then select this, and now pass the row, open phone number dot to string. So now we have taken the type into activity for all this field, and then we'll click on submit. Every time we'll click on submit, it will then again it will go there and it will write there. So we'll take one click activity and we'll write here indicate submit. Now after clicking on submit button here, if you see we have clicked on submit, we need to take care of one more thing. After opening the browser here, we need to first click on start, then it will give us 10 options, like 10 rounds, and every time it will change this location and position of the fields, and it will input the data here and then click on submit, and then again this will be changed. So by this way till 10 times we will do this one. So for that we'll take one click activity to click on start first. After opening the browser here, click start. So now let's run this. The main motto of this example is to tell you the use of indicate element and indicate anchor, and without doing any changes of selector I'm going to run this project. So let's see which type of error are we getting here. So let's run this. So here we are getting cannot find the UI element corresponding to this selector web control and TUNE tag input, right? So we can do this by doing changes in UI Explorer tool. So for first name we need to indicate on the screen again, and then we can edit the selector here. So now you can see here in the selector editor we are not getting more attributes to select and deselect. So we are just getting app chrome.exe, URL RPA challenge, and ID is this, but every time ID is going to change. So even we cannot use a star here, because if we put here star, then it can write the data in anywhere, in the email address, phone number, anywhere. So that's why this is not correct. So for that we have the UI Explorer advanced tool. By using that we can add some more attributes in our selector. So we'll click here, and then here you can see we have the lots of option to select and not select like this. We have here unselected item from this side. These are two attributes that is selected, and now here showing for the class AA name and inner text is leaf title. If you think that this will work, then you can select from here, or we have the lots of features here, we can check and uncheck from here. But this is something we need to first find this one, find the first name and then write here. So for that we'll have to click on this indicate anchor and then choose this first name. Now you can see, now our selector will be different. So here you can see in the current selector it is showing web app HTML app equal to chrome.exe URL this, web control AA name equal to first name, tag equal to label, and navigation up equal to 1, and ID equal to this. So every time this ID will be changed, so we will uncheck this ID and we'll just save this. So you can click on save, or you can copy the selector from here and you can paste into your current selector in the properties panel, right? So we can click on save. Once we'll click on save, it will automatically add the selector into this and press OK. So same as first name, we have to go to the edit selector, indicate element for the, this is for I think last name. So edit selector, indicate element, look for the last name, here is the last name, again click on that, and now this link is enabled, so click on that and again click on indicate anchor. So this will find the target element, click on that and then go to here and select the last name. So this is same as anchor based activity. Here we are getting last name. So what will happen, first it will open the Chrome exe, it will pass the URL of RPA challenge, then it will look for the name, last name equal, it means label equal to last name, label tag and then last name, and then it will search for the ID and then it will in the input form it will type there that data. So here we can put a star, or we can remove from here. So let me save again, and now we have another option. We have the third one, that is company names. Again we'll click on edit selector, indicate element, and this is the company name. Open in UI Explorer, indicate anchor, go to the company name, here select this label. So here you can see it is showing validated, and now it's validated, current it's valid selector. We can uncheck the ID and we can save this one and then press OK. So by this way we have to do in all this field, right? So this is now OK. Let's run this. So it will first click on start, it's typing the John Smith IT Solutions, company name, address, email, phone number, just click submit. Okay, so we'll have to do one thing, we'll have to put this open browser outside the for each, paste here and cut this for each, connect this, and go to the here for each and select all this thing. So first time the start will be for first time, it will not click every time, so it will keep this before for each, and now we'll cut this from here So first time it will read the data, it will open the browser and click on start, and then it will type the data one by one in the fields, right? Now let's run this. Clicked on start, and then it's passing the data here one by one. Submit, then again another records. So it is showing it's around 8. Now it is showing this is last round, 10th round. It will pass, submit, then click. Right? So now you have seen here, congrats, your success rate is 100%, 70 out of 70 fields in 72207 milliseconds. So here if you for the 100% success rate, 70 out of 70 fields we have completed, and for the milliseconds, because it has taken time 72207 milliseconds, we can decrease this time also. We can select this simulate type click, as I already told you in my video, that is background automation and how to increase the speed of robot. So you can go through that video. So if we click on simulate type, we can increase the speed of our automation. So it will not take time, it will complete in very less second, less minute. So by this way we can do the changes in UI Explorer. In the tool we can modify our selector. From there we can use the indicate anchor if we are getting this type of dynamic fields. Now the next is repair. So we are getting this repair option. It is used to re-indicate the same target UI element and repair the selector. So the button is available only when selector is invalid. So whenever our selector is invalid, we can click on repair and we can repair our selector. And highlight, it is used to highlight the selector elements. So if we click on highlight, it will highlight that element. Next is UI framework. So in UI Explorer tool we get the option UI framework, and here we get 3 options: default, active accessibility, UI automation. So by default will be selected, and so this is used to change the technology used to determine UI elements and their selector. You can change from default to anyone if elements not supported. If you are going to select the any element and it's showing that it's not supported, then you can change from default to UI automation or active accessibility, and you can automate that element also. Now visual tree. So it displays a tree of UI hierarchy and enables you to navigate through it by clicking on arrows in front of each node. By default, the first time when you open UI Explorer, the panel displays all opened applications in alphabetical order. Double clicking a UI element from the tree populates the selector editor, selector attributes and property explorer. Next window is selector editor. So it displays the selector for the specified UI element and enables you to customize it. You can add or remove the attributes by checking and unchecking these. So you have seen how did I check and uncheck that. Now the fourth section, that is selector attributes. It displays all the available attributes of a selector node. You can add or remove some of the node attributes by selecting or clearing the checkbox in front of each attributes. And fifth one is property explorer. So it displays all the attributes that specified UI elements can have, including the one that do not appear in the selector and they cannot be changed. And the last is current selector. So it displays current selector that you have to use in project. You can copy the selector from here and you can paste to your project accordingly. If you like my video, please like this and please subscribe my channel if you have not subscribed. Thank you so much, friends. Thank you for watching this video. Please put your comment on videos for your for any next video or any suggestion or anything. For any feedback you can write in comment section. Thank you so much. Please like this and please subscribe my channel if you have not subscribed. Thank you so much.